Hello everybody, how is it going? I am Lucas and today we're going to be talking about some Metallica. That's right, after 8 years we finally have some new material from these guys. Last offering saw from them was Death Magnetic, which was very good. A lot of people liked that album. It was a little bit thrashier than what we were used to, but finally we have some brand new material. Before we jump into this, I want to make a disclaimer. If you have not paid attention to Metallica since And Justice for All, do not listen to this album. If you have not listened to, if you don't like Load, if you don't like Reload, if you don't like any of their newer stuff that they have done, do not pay attention to this album because you're gonna be disappointed. But if you're like me, if you got into Metallica with the Black Album, if you like Load, if you like Reload, then you maybe might like this album. Now, before we even dive into the album, I have to address something. The drums on this album are pretty freaking terrible. The bass drum is one of the most obnoxious, nastiest bass drums I have ever heard. They need to keep Lars out of the control room. The dude ruined albums. He ruined Injustice for All by chopping the bass out of it, and he ruined this album a little bit with his drum sound. The snare is okay, but at times it does sound like you're hitting paper and it sounds thin. The toms sound, I don't know. I don't like them sometimes especially when they're by themselves and exposed. I don't like them. And like I said, the bass drum. Oh my god, it sounds like a wet pillow, or you're hitting a frozen chicken breast. It's like a thump, thump, and it is louder than the bass. Which you can have the bass and kick playing at the same time. You can have them louder, but it overloads the speakers in my truck. I don't know of any other album that just the kick does that. It's so bad, and it annoys me. These bands that have more money than anything. There will never be a metal band bigger than Metallica. I don't think we'll ever see that again. They have tons of money, but yet they let Lars dictate the drum sound. They can have one of the best drum sounds in the world, but no, they have a bad one. I'm looking at you, post Portnoy Dream Theater. You're very guilty of this too. Anyway, let's move on to the album. First track we have is Hardwired with Self-Destruct. It is the title track. It's one of the very first singles that came out from the album. It is a good song. A lot of people liked it when it very first came out. To me, it is one of the more weaker songs in the album. The reason I say this is because the song feels lazy to me because it's full of rhythm and there's not that much variation. There's lack of lead lines. And kind of throughout the entire album, you see this from song to song. This one is very guilty of it. Kirk isn't doing necessarily different things than what James is doing, which it gets kind of stale. It's like, dude, you get two guitar players in the band. You've been playing together forever. Do different stuff. Give it a little bit of variety in there. And the solo in here is so lazy because the solo itself is meant to go all the way until James starts singing again. Kirk randomly just stops playing. He just slides on, and he just stops. I don't know why. In the cover I did of Hardwired, I extended the solo. I just noodled around. It was fine. That's all he had to do. But apparently he couldn't do it. Okay, moving on. Next one is At Last Rise. This is one of the better songs in the album. They released this one as a single. And on this album, you're gonna see that a lot of the songs go long, which is cool because Metallica hasn't really done that in a very long time. This one's really cool. It has a lot of lead work going on in it. It's very reminiscent of Death Magnetic. On this entire album, that you're gonna find they bounce between Death Magnetic style and they bounce between Load, which I liked Load, so I like. Anyway, I'll get to that. Anyway, next one up is Now That We're Dead. This one's a very Load influenced song. It has a Garbage Inc. vibe, which Garbage Inc. was the album they did that was full of covers. That album was actually, I don't know, I liked that album. It was cool. This one definitely has that. I find it kind of experimental. It's not so much, it's not so much thrashy or medley. The lyrics are very interesting. It's not, it's not stuff that you normally see Metallica singing about. Overall, very good song. So we're kind of, we're starting off kind of strong on the first half of the entire album. Oh, let me address something real quick. They broke this album up. There's 12 tracks, but they broke it up into 2 discs, which I don't know why they did. It didn't even extend 80 minutes. So the way I'm going to address it in here is I'm going to address it as one big album because that's technically what it is. Now, you do have a third album, but that's just like live recording and stuff you can get. Anyway, moving on. Next song is Moth to Flame. This is another single that they released. Once again, a very good song. It has a cool vibe to it. The verse is really cool. And I like the vocals in it. I like I like what they did to it. It's kind of, this is kind of like a memory remains type of feeling song. That's where they're coming from with this one. It's kind of memory remains in the aura of the song, but in the sound and the feel of it, it's very death magnetic. Kirk has a really long solo, of course. He uses wah. What album would be complete without Kirk Whammit showing up? It has some nice harmonies too, which that could have been included more like vocal harmonies. It's kind of hit and miss throughout the album. The last really good album they had with vocal harmonies is when Jason Newsted, may he rest in peace, not in the band anymore. When he was in the band, which he put so much life into this band. James shouldn't have been an asshole and kicked him out. Anyway, Dream No More. This one, the next track up, this is basically Devil's Dance 2.0. Devil's Dance is really cool, especially when they did it on S&M with the orchestra. It's really cool. It's very heavy. It's very, I guess it's very driving. The way James sings his vocals and the way they do like the background vocals, so it sounds exactly right. Sounds exactly like it. The song is basically a kind of like a tribute to Cthulhu. He should have won the 2016 election, but they have the Call of Cthulhu, however you say it. They have that instrumental song, but here we actually have a lyrical song about it. I like this song. This song is very cool, but then, I did like Devil's Dance off of Reload. Moving on is Halo on Fire. This one is like it's a total death magnetic feel to that one. The clean part, you actually have clean parts in here, which Metallica they're the kings of that. On the Black Album, they went really soft for the verse, really hard for the chorus, and when Unforgiven, they kind of reversed it, but they're the kings of that, and you finally see it back here. Once again, vocal harmonies show up in here. And this is technically the end of disc 1, if you want to call it that, but you had the 6th track. Now, moving on to the 7th track, disc 2, you have Confusion. This song is alright. It's kind of like 1 2.0, kind of. And the way it's set up, I use that very big. It's not as cool as 1, but it's about a soldier coming home from war and having trouble adjusting to life back here. And it's like 1 2.0, but you definitely have a load feel to it. Load and reload feel is littered through all this album. The song is really good, but it isn't so much great. It's technically, if you look at it as one big album, it's right in the middle, so that's when your weaker songs do tend to show up. Kirk also got that wah 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 solo going on there. Next one up is Man Unkind. I actually like this song. Some other people said this song was weak. I actually like it. I think it's pretty cool. Once again, load feel coming in. You got that bluesy riff. It has an Outlaw Torn feel to it. Not as good as a song, but it has that feel to it. Kirk has another wah solo going on, and this song is one of the more head bobbing, laid back songs. Like that. It's better than Confusion, making our way toward the end of the album. Now, with the 8th track is Here Comes Revenge. This is kind of your, Unforgiven type of song, or Sad But True, where James kind of talks about himself. But it's cool. He talks about the actual essence of revenge, which it's really, I'll probably use cool a million times. It's very spectacular to see that here. Once again, does have a load feel to it. The lyrics kind of get cheesy. And when I mean cheesy, they kind of get predictable the way the phrasing of them are. Has another hammered solo, but no wah. Woo! Finally, he decided to ditch the law for this song. Next up is Am I Savage? Yes, this is sort of a direct song to Am I Evil, is basically what it is. It has a Garbage Inc. feel to it. Starts off really soft. This is actually the kick is the best it sounds on this song, because it starts off really light, and it's not mixed super loud and sound super thuddy on this one. Hammond has a solo without a wah in this one again. That's 2 in a row. I don't know what he's thinking or if he's sick, but the song is alright. It's okay. It's decent. It's not as bad as Confusion, but it's alright. Next one up is Murder 1. This one kind of starts off like Sanitarium to me. It kind of has that feel to the cleans that are going on. This song is basically a tribute to Lemmy from Motorhead. It's littered with Lemmy facts all throughout. I thought it was really cool because 2016 we lost a lot of good musicians in 2016. This is kind of like I said, tribute to Lemmy. This is I like the song. I think it's cool. It's not really about murdering people per se, but now after Murder One, you have Spit Out the Bone. This is the best song on the whole album. It's super thrashy. James' performance on this entire album is really good. He's one of the bright spots on this album. On this song, he just goes all out. He almost sounds like his 80s self, which is so great. I don't know why they didn't release this one as a single, to tell you the truth, because Hardwired, when they released that one, it gave me a different perspective of the album. I thought it would be completely different than what it was. It actually not better than what I thought it would be. Once again, Kirk has a solo on this to close it out. Spit out the bone. It's one of the best tracks they've put out in years. Overall, how would I rate this album? I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 5. I like it. It's good. It's cool. I like the songs. But then again, like I said, I am a fan of the Black Album Load Reload era of Metallica. If you're not a fan of that, you're not going to like this. It's just basically, this is what Metallica is. They're never going to make something as cool as And Justice for All. They won't. And I've accepted that. And like I said, they won't make anything like Master of Puppets again. I don't think Lars can even play like that anymore. Anyway, let's recap some stuff. Song structure is good. Sometimes it's lazy. They don't have very varying guitar parts and lead parts that make it sound interesting. James is great on here. You can actually hear the bass on here, which is cool because they've had their issues with bass in the past. What did you think about the album? Did you like it? Did you hate it? It's late in the year for an album like this. They've been promoting the crap out of it. Glad to see that it is finally here. Let me know what you think about this album in the comments below. As for me, I'm going to be out.